Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It is currently, around Christmas time. Or in this time that I'm at, unless someone's watching this in the future or in the past, I guess. But right now for me, it is Christmas time. And so I really wanted to do a little something Christmassy this year because I don't usually do stuff for Christmas as much as I do for like Halloween because I usually am doing like Inktober and stuff. And also during Christmas I'm usually busy because I'm doing like Christmas presents and things. Which luckily I started very ahead of the time because I procrastinate a lot and I don't do things till last minute. But anyway, I really wanted though to do I want to do something for Christmas this year, and I thought it'd be fun if I did some of my favorite like iconic Christmas scenes from some of my favorite Christmas movies. To be honest, not even all of these are like Elf is probably honestly not even like one of my favorite Christmas movies, but nothing against it. It's just I like it. It's not like one of my favorites, but I still want to do this anyway. And originally actually I was gonna do the scene where he's like screaming Santa, but I didn't because his facial expressions were too hard. So I decided to do something that was easier. And honestly, this is probably my least favorite. I'm really starting we're starting down low already. Like this is not I'm already like not happy with this. This is probably my least favorite out of all of them that I did. Which I just realized too. I just remembered the fact that literally last year I literally did make a Christmas video where I did this exact thing. I just now remembered. I did it in my sketchbook, but it wasn't I don't even remember if I had voiceover over it, and also like I rushed it really badly and I didn't like how any of the drawings turned out anyway because I did it in my sketchbook instead. So we're doing this now and we have a lot less that I'm doing, but I still wanted to do it, and maybe I'll start making this like a tradition. And also I kind of wanted to start making a series anyway, which I think I've said this before, where I do different things in my style. So yeah, this was the first one I wanted to do, and obviously too we're doing some more digital stuff, which I haven't posted as much digital art on my channel yet because I'm still very new to it. I've been doing digital art now, I think it's been over a year, maybe 2 years. And actually recently I've been doing like a lot of it. And I finally am getting to a place where I'm feeling comfortable, and I've kind of found, I'm still like learning a lot, and I feel like there's still a lot of stuff that I'm like overcomplicating, to be honest. Also I'm like using, in case people aren't curious, this is Procreate, which I would really recommend. Actually, I think Procreate is, it's the only program I've ever used that's digital, but I think it's really good for beginners. And there's a whole bunch too of like tutorial videos you can always find, which I find myself having to look up sometimes because I feel like there's so many things I still don't know about Procreate that I'm not fully utilizing. And I feel like I'm constantly like finding new things and new brushes, especially that I'm using, and like that I can find new cool like textures with. And yeah, I'm still very new to it, so I'm not the best, but I'm learning. But yeah, no, I've been doing a lot of digital stuff recently, actually. And I've actually been having quite a bit of fun. I've been trying to find like coloring, especially. It's been so difficult for me because I'm trying to find a more, I don't know, easy way to do it where it's like in my style but not overly complicated. But yeah, this one in total, I think once I like added some of like the line art and stuff, it turned out better. But it's probably my least favorite still out of all of them. And also I didn't do anything crazy with any of the backgrounds because this already was taking me a long time. I really like his hair though. That was like my favorite part out of all of them that I did. But yeah, overall Elf, I like it. It's not one of my favorites, but I still wanted to do that scene because he was fun to draw anyway. And yeah. White Christmas though is also, Elf is like, sorry, going back, Elf is like a movie that I don't watch every year. And honestly, I don't even remember the last time I watched it all the way through. So I'm a fake fan, I guess. I love how I said I'm doing... And actually, though, I never said I was doing my favorite. I said iconic scenes. So that's what I did. No, White Christmas, though, I actually do have a very nostalgic, fond feeling for, because I've watched it countless times. I haven't watched it this year. I've been really bad this year with like Christmas movies. I've not watched. Have I watched a single Christmas movie this year? I don't think I have. Wow. Need to. I want to like. I'm trying every year to get more and more in the Christmas spirit, but I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but once you get older, it's like so hard to get into the Christmas spirit, which is really unfortunate and sad, but it's true. Like, I like have to force myself. And usually it ends up just being like listening to music because it's the only thing that can like really get me. And also like with where I live, like I do get snow where I live. But it's still like we don't get like a whole bunch. And I have such a hard time getting in the Christmas spirit if I don't have snow. I feel like honestly really bad for people. I don't know, maybe I guess a lot of people hate snow, to be fair. I know a lot of people hate the cold, so but like if I like I would never want to live in an area where I didn't get like all the seasons, because it's one of the things that gets me in the seasonal spirit is like the weather. Like snow I need for me to feel in the Christmas spirit. Same with like during like the fall. Like the colors of the leaves changing and it getting cooler and that crisp feeling outside is like what gets me excited for the spirit of the season. I need it. So yeah. Anyway, it's a tangent. No, I love White Christmas though. I've always loved this specific scene, which I think I literally drew again last time, but this is probably my favorite. Yeah, no, this is definitely my favorite out of all the ones I did. I just had so much fun, and I feel like I was really getting like the rendering process specifically is what I kind of have a hard time with. And also I realized too that like whenever like I'm color picking like specific colors to shade and things, I know I can literally make like specific palettes, but I always just put it directly on the canvas because it's easier for me to grab from there. I'm sure there's probably easier ways to do it too, but I know too that you can like select certain areas to just fully color in, but I like to make things harder for myself, so it makes me take extra long amounts of time. But I'm finally like, because I've actually been doing more digital art and I've been practicing more and more with it, I'm finally like picking up my pace, because I recently did like I did like almost, it was kind of like a little comic that I did with Interview with a Vampire recently. And it literally took me so freaking long because I haven't been practicing with digital art. And also for me, I'm not sure if anyone else has this problem, but like digital art takes me way freaking longer than like traditional stuff. Like if I did this piece with like markers, it would have taken me significantly less time to complete. But I'm finally though, because I've actually been practicing, surprisingly, whenever you practice, usually you get better, which I have a hard time realizing that though, surprisingly. But yeah, no, this one though, I had like a lot of fun doing. And yeah, I've like finally found like a routine. I don't know if routine is the right word to say, but yeah. And also like, I know in the original picture that it looks like their dresses have like the skin is kind of showing a little bit, and also they're wearing gloves, but I decided to just make it one like a big bodysuit. I mean, I guess it could kind of look like their gloves, but I didn't end up showing any skin because I ended up going over it anyway, and I just didn't feel like doing it in the end. Also, like, their faces looked really scary in the beginning, but they end up getting better. I'm really, really happy with how both of their faces turned out a lot. And again, like, the rendering part is honestly probably my favorite, because I just love, like, I wish I remember what brush I'm using right now. I tend to use, like, just a flat brush whenever I'm laying color down, but I usually use, I usually use the specific brush, when I'm rendering, and it's more of a painter, which I tend to gravitate towards also. I know there's a lot of different ways that you can stylize with the brushes when it comes to doing digital stuff, but I like the very painterly look, and like a very textured. I usually also add like a grain, not filter, but whenever I'm editing my photos, I usually add like a grain to it because I love the way that looks. It looks like, I don't know, it looks more old school, especially with like this photo because this is an older movie. It really fits the vibe, and I don't know, I love how it looks whenever there's a grain over things. And I know not everyone likes texture in their artwork, but I love texture in artwork. I like how it looks. a lot. Yeah, so like whenever, like if I'm like working even digitally, I mean not digitally, if I'm working traditionally too, I always love whenever there's a little bit of a nice texture over everything. Yeah, and also I don't really, one of the things I have the hardest time figuring out, especially in the beginning whenever I was trying to do digital artwork, is line art, because a lot of the brushes that I have, I haven't bought any brushes or any like brush packs, which I kind of feel like I should eventually, but I haven't this time. And none of the brushes like I really like for line art. Usually I end up actually using like a sketching brush for line art because, again, texture. I don't like the super smooth look to a lot of the line arts that they give you. And also I see this like every freaking video, but I like soft line art. I don't like super intense black. I usually use softer stuff. So like for this one, I ended up just using like the shading. The darkest color I use for shading, I usually use for line art. And then put it over it. But yeah, I always love the like adding the highlights. It's so satisfying. And yeah, the rendering process is probably my favorite part. And I ended up adding more of like a texture and a light texture to the dress. I didn't make they have almost like a floral texture to the top, and like there's like that slit area where there's like a floral texture there too. I ended up though just adding highlights over it, and I found also another texture brush that I use, yeah, as you can see here. And I ended up lowering the opacity to it so that it's not super like in your face, but it's still there. Yeah, and also I'm not sure in the dresses, like the very like the collar aspect part of it, I didn't add too much detail there either. So yeah, but yeah, no, this was like my favorite part. I love how their eyes turned out, her especially, the one I'm working on currently. I'm really, really happy with. And also just like, again, I was rendering it and I was like finding like a rhythm. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know, I was getting my groove and I was really like, yeah. And then also I usually will add another darker color for like the corners of the nose, where like the nose meets where the eyes are. And then usually also for like the nostrils, in the corners of the mouth. And I'll usually add like a little bit of a darker color for specific areas just to really showcase those parts of the face a lot of the time. And yeah, God, I'm just so happy with like the noses and the faces in this one. Yeah, and this ended up actually becoming I was gonna do something else for a Christmas present, but this ended up becoming one of my family's Christmas presents also that I'm gonna end up printing out. So yeah, overall though, I love this one a lot. Oh yeah, and then unfortunately I didn't get a lot of the stuff I did in the background, but I ended up adding like that really bright red in the background instead, and it was kind of like too, I don't know, I didn't like fit in with the rest of the drawing, so I ended up incorporating it into their dresses, and also in their eyes. I usually like to match their eye color with the color in the background a lot of the time because I feel like it incorporates it really well together. And yeah, overall this is probably my favorite one I did, and I'm really, really happy with it, and I like it a lot. This one I ended up I realized for the first two I didn't really include a lot of the sketching process, which I apologize for. I forgot to record those parts, but yeah, The Grinch is up there for one of my favorite Christmas movies. It might be my favorite Christmas movie. I love The Grinch. I'm talking about the Jim Carrey one. I'm not sure if that's like an unpopular opinion. Because I know I've heard some people like clowning on it. I love this movie though. I don't care. I freaking love it. And I'm really happy actually with how this one turned out. Specifically the sketch. I really like how the sketch turned out on this one, especially her. That's an angle I usually don't draw to, and it was really interesting to trying to figure out how to draw him in my style. But I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end a lot. But yeah, I love this movie. I don't care what anyone says. I love obviously I love too like the original animated Grinch. And I even like the newer one. The newer one that came out more recently. It's not like my favorite version of the story, but it has become kind of like a comfort movie to me. I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't know. I just love The Grinch a lot. It's like one of my favorite stories in general, let alone Christmas movies. It's so great, and also like the Jim Carrey Grinch is so freaking funny. I don't care what anyone says, I freaking love it. It brings me joy. But yeah, no, I remember this one took me like the least amount of time. I like flew through this one, and also I realized her face right now looks very yellow. That will change eventually, I promise. It's crazy how different colors will turn out whenever you change the background. Yeah, I always, whenever I'm doing the digital stuff, I always like to add color to the background instead of just doing directly on white, because it looks more fun. And it was really, really fun shading him, and like trying to do like his like fur, I guess, is that what you would call it? I don't know. And adding like the highlights and like, I don't know, shading the green and stuff was like really fun for me to do, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, overall, I had a really fun time doing all these. I would like everyone to let me know what your favorite Christmas movie is, or if there's like a specific scene that you love, let me know. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be having another video before Christmas or not. If I don't, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope everyone has a great holiday. If you don't celebrate, I hope you just have a great time either way, whatever you're celebrating, whatever you're doing. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.